Oh, namaste. I'm Dr. Venkatachaganti, and I'm a physicist. These are our Nobel Prize winners for 2020. You all know it: Roger Penrose, Genzel, and Andrea Gies. So, Roger Penrose, he won the Nobel Prize for the discovery that black hole formation is a robust prediction of the general theory of relativity. And Genzel and Andrea won for the discovery of a supermassive compact object at the center of our galaxy. So let's see what Roger Penrose is further expressing his views. Till now, we all know that there is something called as Big Bang, and previous to that, there was nothing, but there have been some theories like a Big Crunch. Let's see what Dr. Roger Penrose says about this Big Bang theory.
Roger, cosmologists today are focused on how the universe began, focusing on inflation theory and various other things. But there's a more fundamental question. Did the universe begin? Because in the past, people assumed that the universe was forever and had different kinds of cycles or steady state or whatever. You've been a little bit of a renegade in terms of the traditional, now conventional wisdom of inflation theory beginning the universe. How so?
Well, one of the biggest motivations of the scheme, which I've been putting forward, for about 8 years now, let me just describe roughly the scheme. The current view is that the universe began with what's called the Big Bang. Immediately following that was a stage of inflation, which was an exponential expansion, which settled down, for one reason or another, into a more sedate expansion, which then became an exponential expansion, which is what we see, what got the Nobel Prize a few years ago, the accelerated expansion of the universe, which I regard as a consequence of the lambda term that Einstein introduced in his paper in 1917 for admittedly the wrong reason. He wanted a static universe just at the wrong moment when it was about to be announced that the universe was expanding. So he regarded that as his greatest mistake. In fact, it turns out that it wasn't a mistake, but not for the reason that Einstein originally introduced it. But yeah, there seems to be this exponential expansion, self-similar expansion, if you like. The rate of expansion depends on the state of the size of the universe. Now, this observed exponential expansion is what we expect to happen in our remote future, unless something else happens. So, and I believe it will extend to the remote future. Now, in inflation theory, there was a similar expansion in the very, very early stages after the Big Bang. Now, I've never liked inflation right from the start for various reasons. And I'm proposing a different idea, which is that, yes, there was inflation in a sense, but this was before the Big Bang. Now, an idea like that actually was put forward by the well-known, distinguished particle physicist Gabriele Veneziano, and he had a scheme in which the inflationary phase took place before the Big Bang, but that was sort of a one-off. The view I'm taking is that what we regard as the current picture of the universe, but without inflation, without the inflation immediately following the Big Bang, expansion, and then the accelerated expansion, is just one eon. I'm calling it an eon, A-E-O-N, which is one of a succession of such eons. So there will be another after ours, there was one before ours, and the exponential expansion of that previous eon in its remote future is what appears to be inflation in our model. So there is, in a sense, inflation in this scheme, but it's not the kind of inflation that's argued for in
just order of magnitude, how long would an eon be? 10 to the what number of years?
A good order of magnitude is infinity.
Okay.
Because the view, you say, how can it be infinity? Yeah. Well, it depends on how you measure time, you see. This is
So you heard Dr. Penrose saying that about the eon. So there was a universe prior to this universe, and there will be another universe after this universe. And this is unending cycles. So there's no ending for this. So why am I talking about this now? Because we, being an Indian, we generally say that everything is written in Vedas. So yes, is it there? Even this statement, what he says is because we have been telling for ages that this is not the only universe at present. Prior to this, there was a universe, and again there will be another universe. And between these two, this is called as pralayam, that is the destruction. So before this, there was a destruction. After this, there will be a destruction, and so on. So it can be authenticate with a mantra for that. Let me show you that. So here is the mantra, which is in script, Telugu script, but it's a Sanskrit mantra that says, Om Surya Chandramasau Data Yatha Purvamakalpayat Divancha Pratavinchantariksha Swaha. In this mantra, it says very clearly that this particular star, sun, moon, earth, etc., all objects were made in this kalpam, that is this aeon, according to Dr. Penrose, in this aeon, same as the previous aeon. So it is mentioned very clearly. So the today's modern science is coming to that point. So this mantra is from RigVeda, 10th mandala, 190th suktam, and the third mantra. So according to Dr. Penrose, there was a universe and there will be a universe, and each universe he calls an aeon. So what is the time for this frame, for these cycles? That's what the anchor was asking. And he said it's infinite time, because there's no ending for this. There's no starting, there's no beginning, there's no ending. So further, Dr. Penrose said something, which I'll make another video, but it's very clear that in Vedas, everything is written and is mentioned very clearly. Specifically in this mantra, it's mentioned the same structure of the universe existed prior to this. Now the science has to find that. Today's date is October the 16th. I mentioned this one week before in another video in Telugu. Now I'm making in English. So understand that there's an aeon before that and after this aeon, and so on, which is there in RigVeda Mandalam, mantras, Vedas. Om